What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another video. And today I'm giving my preview and predictions for the 212 Mr Olympia, which is taking place in about 6 hours from now. At least the prejudging is, and the finals will be that night. So it's all wrapped up in one day on the Friday at the 2020 Mr Olympia. I'm going to give you my predictions, and I'm going to go from 11th down to first, or up to first, whichever way you look at it, and give a few physique updates along the way as well. And I'm going to start at 11th with Guy Sisternino. Now, the reason why I'm doing 11 and not top 10 is because I really didn't want to leave Guy out, and I think that he's a quality competitor that can definitely place top 10 here, but I've got him in 11th. Now, he's sort of making his comeback. He's had injuries. He had COVID earlier in the year. I had some clotting issues to do with that, and he actually has switched coaches, and I believe he's done it during his prep as well, because I remember hearing him on Fuad Abiad's podcast weeks ago, and he was saying about working with Chris Aceto, and now he's actually working with John Meadows. So I don't know the reason for the change, but I did hear this on Jay Cutler TV when he's interviewed at the Meet the Olympians as well. So Guy Sisternino, I think he can do really well at this 212 Olympia. The 212 is always stacked from top to bottom. When you look at the lineup from last year, the top 10 or even the top 12 to 13 was absolutely stacked. And last year you had a former champion of this class, the lightweight, well, it was 202 at the time, in David Henry, finishing outside that top 10. And I'm going to David Henry now, and I think he's going to come back and finish inside that top 10 and get a 10th place finish here. He's looking great. 5 weeks out, these photos, there hasn't really been many more updates or any more updates. He's actually using that NewX machine on his legs, and that's really the knock on David Henry, is his legs. It has been his whole career. And obviously when you get older, typically the legs tend to fade a little bit more. But I think for David Henry, at least if he can maintain those legs and keep that freaky upper body, he's got crazy traps, he's got crazy back, he's got some big chest, some really freaky body parts. So I think that he's maybe been slightly overlooked the past couple of years, so that's why I've got him in my top 10 here. In 9th, I have Takaya Yamagishi. Now, these photos were actually posted about 12 to 13 hours ago on his story, so I'm assuming they're new. They're hotel photos. I don't know why he posted any sort of other photos on there. There's some writing on there, but obviously I can't read it. It's in another language, but I think that he's going to come in peeled. His posing is superb. I love Hide's posing. He actually gave me a lot of inspiration. I actually used one of his posing songs in one of my routines once, and yeah, I think that his posing and his condition alone can take him a long way. I don't think he'll be as full as a lot of these other guys. I know he's in his 40s right now, and I don't think he's getting better in terms of size. I mean, he formerly was a top 10 open Mr Olympia, so he's definitely not at that level right now, but if he can bring that condition and the posing, obviously, I think he can place 9th here, at least in the top 10. In 8th, I have Dedrick Bo Lewis. Now, this dude is thick, and he's got really nice shape as well. So sometimes when I see some progress photos, I'm like, oh yeah, he looks good. He looks like a thick dude. But when you actually see him on stage, those side triceps and the side chests, he just flows really, really well. And I think that, with that sort of shape and conditioning and all that sort of stuff, if he brings that conditioning to the stage, then I think he's going to do really well. And here's a photo of him just days out of that 212 Olympia. In 7th, I have Ahmed Ashkanani, a guy who's finished as high as 2nd in the 212 Olympia. And I believe it was his first 212 Olympia. And many thought that he might actually go on to be the eventual, heir apparent to the 212 title once Flex Lewis left. But he sort of slipped a little bit since then. But he's working at an Oxygen gym, and I think that he's actually probably looking the best he's looked in a few years. If he can bring that conditioning and bring the size, then I think that he can place much higher than 7th. I'm putting him in 7th here, but for some reason I just have a feeling one of these or 2 of these or 3 of these guys above him might slip a little bit, and he can definitely take advantage and jump ahead of some of these guys. In 6th, I have George Peterson. Now, I've put him down another spot, and people were sort of critical of me putting him in 5th when I did my early predictions. And I'll tell you the reason why. Now, George, I am so impressed with him. The first year, if he comes into this Olympia and in his Olympia debut and actually places top 6, is phenomenal in the 212s because it is so close. And, if you're saying George isn't maybe a top 3 guy, which, some people are saying, then he could slip right down. And it's not because he's not a good bodybuilder. I think he's a phenomenal bodybuilder. The fact that he's moved from Classic to 212 in 1 year, and he's being predicted, from going 3rd in the Classic to being, being predicted by many as a top 3 in the 212s is amazing. It shows how good of a bodybuilder he really is. But he is limited because he is 5'8", and you got to still remember that. Maybe his legs won't be quite big enough to match some of these guys. I'm not sure. His back is obviously world class, probably the best in the world, if not one of the best in the world, along with like Phil Heath and guys like that. But I just think that maybe he won't quite be thick enough. But here's what he actually had to say on RX Muscle about his chances of winning the 212 Olympia.
George Peterson is going to win in his 212 Olympia debut because
George Peterson is going to be the best bodybuilder on the 212 stage, period.
So as you can see, super confident, and honestly, I would love to see him win or do really well in this class. So let me know what you think about George Peterson in the comments below. In 5th, I have John Jowett. Now, I actually predicted in my early predictions that John Jowett was going to be 7th. And the reason for that, and the reason why I actually had him slipping, because he's top 5 last year, was because I saw some photos of him 5 weeks out, and I thought maybe he looked a little bit behind. But this photo came out from about a week out, and he looks super thickly muscled. He weighed in apparently exactly 212. He weighed in last year at exactly 212. But I think, another year, probably better conditioning maybe, I think that he's going to do even better possibly, but I'm really not sure. I'm not sure where to put some of these guys, because I think there's going to be other guys that improve, so I'm putting him in 5th place with the potential to place even higher. In 4th, I have Angel Frias Calderon, or Angel, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it. This guy has won 5 pro shows. He's won 4 since the Olympia last year, and this guy is just so thickly muscled. Like, when you're looking at some of these photos, it's almost unbelievable, and you think, how can't this guy win the 212 Olympia? And I think he can. I just need to see him next to these other guys first, because we haven't seen him really get put next to that top group. And there's actually a guy that commented on my YouTube recently saying he was at the Olympia last year and watched the 212s up close, and he said he had Angel winning. Now, I don't know if that's right. I don't know how good of a, I suppose, bodybuilding fan or critiquer they actually are, but it goes to show that, many people thought that he was overlooked at that 212 Olympia, but some people didn't even notice him because he was down in 10th. So I think that Angel, can come into this, shock a lot of people, and maybe he won't be shocking people because he has won so many pro shows recently, but he's a phenomenal competitor. He's always in condition, and he's so thickly muscled. I just don't know if he'll have the same structure as maybe like a Derek Lunsford, and maybe he'll look small next to a Derek Lunsford, because I know he's only about 5'3". So I'm interested to see how Angel will do at this 212 Olympia. In 3rd place, I have Shaun Clarida, probably the smallest man out of all the guys in the top 10. Actually, I'd say he's definitely the smallest man out of all these guys in the top 10 in terms of weight. Last year, he was about 169 pounds. I know he's going to be heavier this year. I did see one of his Instagram lives, and I asked for an interview, and he's like, man, I'm focused. We'll do on post Olympia, and I can't wait to actually do that with Shaun, because he just seems like an absolute nutcase in the nicest way possible. He seems like he trains harder than everyone, and he's just super dedicated. So I can't wait to see what Shaun Clarida brings, because he is always in condition. If he doesn't bring his conditioning, then he's going to fall a long way. If he brings his conditioning and he's bigger, like apparently he is, then he can challenge some of these guys. And I think a top 3 finish for a guy at that height, I don't know how tall he is, but he's under 5'3". He is very short. So I can't wait to see what Shaun Clarida looks like on stage battling these, bigger guys in the 212. 2nd place, I have Derek Lunsford, and this one's hard because I really like Derek. Derek's reached out to me personally, said he loves my channel and what I'm doing, and we sort of have this bit of a rapport where I think he's just such a nice guy, and I really am rooting for him to win. Like, I sort of really want Derek to win. I actually reached out to Derek before I made these predictions, and I said, hey, I'm predicting you a 2nd, but you've definitely got the ability to win, and he does. He definitely does. He has the structure. He could have even won it last year, but there is obviously the talk around Kamal. We have seen photos of Kamal where he's looking sensational, but if Derek brings that conditioning, if he can find a way to get that muscle looking harder, a little bit more grainier, then he can definitely win this 212 Olympia. And seeing some videos and photos of him about a week out here, and if he can come in and dry out just that little bit more on top of this, Derek can win that 212 Olympia title. I'm excited to see what he does after this Olympia, whether win or loss, if he moves up to the Open or not. He's just a very exciting competitor, and he's still so young. I mean, Kamal is so many more years older than Derek. It's not funny. So in 1st place, obviously, Kamal Elgargni. He's looking sensational. I mean, he's added apparently 5.5 pounds for this year's Olympia. I know last year he was about 6 pounds under the actual weight limit. So Kamal is coming in at his best. We pretty much know he's going to be in condition because about 11 weeks out, he looked peeled in about a week out. So Kamal is bringing it at this Olympia. I think that he might just be too hard and too, I suppose, crisp. And now the fact that he's added more muscle might put Kamal over the top of Derek, but the structure thing and also the legs. I'm interested to see how Kamal's legs look. I mean, I think they're going to be absolutely peeled to the bone, but they're a little bit more straight up and down compared to Derek. And Derek has that, I suppose, that more beautiful silhouette on stage where he just looks absolutely freaky. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you have winning the 212 Olympia? Give me your top 5. Give me your top 10. I really want to know your guys' opinion in the comments below. And one more thing before I wrap this video up. I just want to say thank you to you guys. The comments and stuff and everything have been really nice. I've been getting messages in my inbox on Instagram. I will get back to everyone eventually. I will try to get to all the comments eventually. At worst, just like them and read them all, because I absolutely love that support. And even the people that are, a little bit negative, I block out the real negative ones that aren't, at all constructive. But yeah, I really do appreciate you guys just taking the time to watch my videos in the first place and liking and commenting. And guys, if we can share these out, I want to try to get 1 million views in 48 hours. I've never been close to it before, but this is the weekend to do it. And it would just mean the absolute world to me, because I'm wanting to make this a full-time thing so I can go all in, make tons of videos and be producing them all year, multiple videos a day, hopefully. So if you guys can do that for me, then I can, just pump that stuff out. I'll share it out on my Instagram page. Just find Desktop Bodybuilding. Also, head to olympiaproductions.com. Order the pay-per-view. It's starting in about 6 hours from now, maybe a little bit closer once this video is edited and uploaded, and you'll be able to watch the pay-per-view. It's got all the prejudgings and all the finals across all the divisions for the pros, so make sure you get on that. So that's it for this video. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding, and you get all my 2020 Mr Olympia coverage. Also, if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up, smash that like button as well. So for Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding, we are out.